Captain Aurelia Nova's heart raced as the cosmic tempest of the Twilight Nebula roared around her, its swirling colors and crackling energy, mirroring her inner turmoil. Amid the shimmering void, the colossal silhouette of Earth's battleship emerged, a harbinger of conflict that set the universe trembling. With eyes ablaze and resolve forged in past sorrows, she gripped the controls, determined to defy the encroaching darkness and safeguard humanity's fragile hope. In that electrifying moment, the war between legacy and destiny ignited. On the bridge of her starfighter vessel, Nova watched in awe and apprehension as the battleship materialized on the central display, a leviathan of steel and luminescence cutting through the nebular haze. Every contour of its design pulsed with an ominous promise. This was not merely a machine, but a declaration of Earth's formidable ambition. The ship's energy shields shimmered like liquid mercury, and deep within its core, power levels spiked in a silent, almost sentient rhythm. The atmosphere on the bridge was electric. Officers exchanged terse, urgent whispers over the low hum of activated machinery, while holographic panels danced with streams of critical data. The air carried the sharp scent of ionized metal and the underlying tension of souls aware that they were standing at the precipice of an interstellar maelstrom. Nova's gloved hand hovered over the navigational console, her fingers poised to orchestrate a dance of maneuvers that would soon be written in the annals of cosmic conflict. In that suspended moment, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Outside, the battleship's looming form was framed against a kaleidoscope of swirling stardust and radiant nebula, a stark symbol of the duality of progress and peril. The gravitational ballet unfolding in the void hinted at a cataclysmic convergence of fate and ambition, a cosmic warning that the balance of power was shifting inexorably. Nova's thoughts churned as she recalled past battles where valor had clashed with the harsh realities of loss. Pride in her nation's achievements warred with a deep-seated fear of the consequences of unchecked might. Every fiber of her being resonated with the burden of command, a burden that demanded both iron resolve and a compassionate heart. It was in these fleeting seconds that she understood the emergence of this battleship was not a mere tactical maneuver, but a harbinger of the turbulent times that lay ahead. The silence was abruptly shattered by a piercing alert. Red lights flared across the consoles as urgent transmissions crackled in, their messages laced with warnings from Allied fleets scattered across the cosmos. The stakes had risen. The cosmos was bracing itself for a conflict that could redefine destinies. With a steadying breath, Captain Nova activated the advanced navigation protocols, her eyes never leaving the vast, inscrutable void that now beckoned with both menace and promise. In that critical juncture, as the twilight of distant stars merged with the raw power of imminent warfare, Nova embraced her destiny. The battleship's sudden arrival was the spark that had set the cosmos ablaze, a turning point where hope and despair intermingled, and the path forward was illuminated only by the fierce glow of determination and the looming specter of war. After the intense surge of adrenaline that heralded the battleship's arrival, a heavy silence enveloped the bridge. A silence that beckoned Captain Aurelia Nova into the depths of her own memories. In that quiet, the ambient hum of the ship's machinery faded into a distant echo of a past filled with both valor and loss. Nova's eyes, still bright with the remnants of determination, now clouded with reflective sorrow as she began to revisit the ghosts of battles long fought. In the dim light of the starry void outside, the captain's thoughts carried her back to a time when the universe was even harsher. She recalled the piercing sound of plasma discharges, the acrid scent of burning circuitry, and the anguished cries of comrades lost in the chaos of a devastating ambush on the outer rim. The flash of laser fire and the taste of fear mingled with the bitter tang of regret, imprinting a memory that never truly faded. In these recollections, every fallen comrade and every failed mission was a silent reminder of the burdens of command, a weight that pressed upon her heart as inexorably as gravity itself. A soft knock at the door pulled her from these reveries. Lieutenant Mara Solis, a trusted confidant with eyes that reflected both loyalty and concern, stepped in. "Captain, if I might," Mara said gently, her voice a steady anchor in the turbulent sea of Nova's emotions. "We need to prepare for the briefing. But I also know these moments of solitude mean much to you." Their exchange was tender, a quiet acknowledgement of the shared cost of leadership. Mara's words, both practical and compassionate, bridged the gap between duty and the personal scars borne by every soldier in the cosmic fray. Nova's gaze lingered on the holographic display that pulsed with strategic data, yet her mind wandered to the faces of those who had once fought beside her. In a hushed tone, she confessed, "Every command, every decision, it echoes with the voices of those I couldn't save." Her admission was raw, revealing the profound internal struggle between the necessity of order and the cruelty of sacrifice. It was a confession not made to anyone else, but to the silent corridors of her soul, a declaration that even in the heart of battle, the ghosts of the past would never truly rest. The weight of memories mingled with the palpable tension of the present, creating an atmosphere thick with unspoken dilemmas. With each recollection, the battles of her past wove into the fabric of the moment, painting a vivid tapestry of courage interlaced with deep-seated sorrow. As the captain prepared to lead her crew into yet another uncertain conflict, the shadows of yesterday served as both a warning and a guide, a reminder that every decision carried the legacy of every life once lost. The bridge of Captain Nova's starfighter vessel pulsed with an eerie glow as holographic maps and streams of encrypted data illuminated every surface. A vast expanse of swirling nebulae and intricate cosmic charts stretched before her, each point of light and color a silent testament to the alliances and rivalries fracturing the galaxy. In that charged moment, the ship itself transformed into a microcosm of cosmic politics, a floating forum where the weight of interstellar diplomacy pressed against every decision. Nova stood at the center of this high-tech council, her gaze fixed on the shifting luminescence of distant star systems. "These coordinates," she murmured, pointing to clusters of flickering symbols on the display, "mark the last known positions of the Argus Syndicate and the silent coalition of the Lyrians. Both are edging closer to our borders. Their intentions, veiled in secrecy, could tip the balance in ways we can scarcely imagine." Her voice carried the calm authority of someone who had weathered countless storms, yet beneath the measured tone lay a deep-seated apprehension. Around her, her trusted officers exchanged knowing looks. Lieutenant Mara Solis leaned in, her eyes narrowing as she studied the data. "Captain, the Lyrians have never shied from conflict. Their emissaries report unsettling movements near the Trion cluster. It's as if someone is orchestrating these maneuvers behind a veil of diplomacy." The tension in Mara's words was palpable, punctuated by the soft hum of the ship's systems and the rhythmic beeping of alert panels. In a secluded corner of the command center, an elderly strategist, Commander Elias Varik, recounted ancient treaties and long-forgotten alliances with a voice filled with both wisdom and regret. "The galaxy is a tapestry woven with betrayal and hope," he intoned. "Every faction, every species, plays a part in a larger design, a design that if unraveled might lead to chaos. We must tread carefully, for even the smallest misstep could trigger an interstellar conflagration." His words hung in the air, resonating with the gravity of histories long past and the uncertainties of futures yet to be written. Beyond the immediate confines of Nova's vessel, a darker narrative was unfolding. Far from the gentle glow of strategic planning, Admiral Zarek Thorne, the enigmatic architect of cosmic descent, was orchestrating his own symphony of discord. In a dimly lit command center aboard his flagship, an imposing structure adorned with symbols of defiance, Thorne meticulously reviewed intercepted transmissions. His sharp, calculating eyes reflected the ambient light of alien star maps, each one a piece in his grand puzzle of retribution. "They believe power alone can dictate destiny," he muttered, fingers dancing over holographic interfaces. "But true order demands sacrifice, and I will be the one to restore balance by any means necessary." His words were not just a declaration of war, but a manifesto of ideological conviction. Back on Nova's bridge, The weight of this looming threat pressed in as the crew worked feverishly to decode and correlate scattered intelligence from across the galaxy. Every soft beep, every shifting line of data on the holograms, echoed the underlying urgency of an impending clash between order and rebellion. Nova's mind raced through potential strategies, weighing the ramifications of every move. In her heart, she wrestled with the dichotomy of defending Earth's ambitious legacy while yearning to avoid the devastating repercussions of unbridled militarism. The atmosphere thickened with tension as a secure channel crackled to life, transmitting an urgent communique from a high-ranking envoy of the Galactic Assembly. The voice on the line was calm yet laced with urgency. "Captain Nova, we have confirmed unsettling reports. A secret summit among key alien factions is imminent, one that could redefine allegiances and ignite hostilities. Your presence is requested to represent Earth's interests. This is no longer a matter of territorial defense. It is a battle for the very soul of our interstellar community." The message faded into silence, leaving behind a charged pause that seemed to reverberate through every corner of the bridge. Nova inhaled deeply, her eyes reflecting the spectral dance of cosmic light as she steeled herself for the challenges ahead. Every decision made in this crucible of galactic fault lines carried the potential to forge or fracture alliances that had been centuries in the making. With measured determination, she addressed her crew. "Prepare for the summit. We must navigate these treacherous waters with both strength and wisdom. Our actions here will determine not just our fate, but that of the entire galaxy." Her words resonated like a clarion call, a promise of resilience amid the chaotic interplay of power and politics. In that moment, as the holographic maps continued their silent, intricate dance and distant galaxies whispered of ancient rivalries, the contours of an inevitable conflict emerged. The stage was set for a grand confrontation, a convergence of destinies where the smallest choices could echo across the cosmos, altering the fate of countless worlds. In the ethereal gloom of the Twilight Nebula, where cosmic dust swirled like whispered secrets and starlight fractured into a spectral dance, covert currents of fate stirred. The battleship's corridors, once bathed in the stark precision of military order, now pulsed with a murmur of clandestine purpose. Captain Aurelia Nova, draped in the solitude of responsibility, found herself drawn into the hidden pathways of diplomacy, a realm where whispered negotiations carried the weight of empires. In a secluded chamber deep within the battleship's fortified core, Nova convened with a select cadre of her most trusted officers. The room's walls, adorned with shifting holograms of ancient star maps, seemed to breathe with the quiet pulse of the nebula outside. Lieutenant Mara Solis, her expression etched with equal parts determination and apprehension, activated a secure communication channel to an emissary of an enigmatic alien coalition. The emissary's face materialized, a visage marked by luminous, unblinking eyes and a countenance that spoke of eons spent in the cosmic shadows. "Captain Nova," the emissary intoned in a voice that resonated like the low hum of distant quasars, "our people have observed disturbances in the outer rim. There are forces at work that seek to exploit the fissures between our worlds." The words floated through the room, layered with caution and a hint of sorrow. Nova's gaze met Mara's as she absorbed the implications. This was not just a plea for parley, but a subtle warning that the nebula's calm was deceptive. Outside the reinforced viewport, the nebula's tendrils writhed in an ever-changing mosaic. Its colors shifted from deep violet to searing gold, each hue reflecting the tumult of ancient cosmic memories. As Nova listened to the emissary, she couldn't help but feel that the nebula itself was communicating. A silent oracle, its shifting patterns a mirror to the hidden conspiracies and betrayals simmering beneath the surface of interstellar diplomacy. Meanwhile, far from the diplomatic enclave of Nova's vessel, in a dimly lit command center aboard a shadowy flagship, Admiral Zurich Thorne orchestrated his own symphony of dissent. The room was a stark contrast to the luminous serenity of the nebula, a labyrinth of cold, calculated machinery and digital maps that pulsed with ominous red markers. Thorne's eyes, dark and penetrating, flickered with a fanatic intensity as he reviewed intercepted transmissions. "They speak in riddles," he murmured, his voice a low growl, but even the softest whisper of dissent can be transformed into a tempest of retribution. Around him his lieutenants gathered, their faces half hidden in the interplay of light and shadow. One of them, a gaunt figure with a scar etched across his cheek, stepped forward. "Admiral, our informants confirm that a covert summit is underway, a secret meeting among the lesser factions. This gathering could destabilize our plans if Earth's emissaries gain ground." Thorne's lips curled into a sardonic smile. "Then let them speak," he replied coolly. "Every whisper in the nebula is a step closer to the reckoning. We will turn their murmurs into a declaration of war." Back aboard Nova's ship, the clandestine meeting reached a delicate crescendo. Nova paced slowly along the chamber, her footsteps echoing softly against the metallic floor as she contemplated the fragile alliance forming before her. "We are on the brink of transformation," she said, her voice steady, despite the turbulent storm of emotions within. "The nebula bears witness to our past transgressions and our hopes for the future. Our task is to ensure that these whispers do not become a scream of destruction." Her words, laced with both resolve and vulnerability, hung in the air, a stark contrast to the cold strategies unfolding in distant command centers. The emissary's reply, soft yet insistent, added to the chamber's charged atmosphere. "There are truths hidden in the stardust, Captain. Beneath every silent glimmer lies a message of caution and of opportunity. Trust in the guidance of the cosmos, and let the wisdom of ancient stars illuminate our path." Nova closed her eyes momentarily, absorbing the gravity of the aliens' counsel. In that fragile instant, the nebulous mists outside seemed to converge into a single radiant beacon, a reminder that even in the heart of uncertainty, hope could be kindled. As the meeting drew to a close, Nova issued her orders with deliberate care. "Prepare all diplomatic channels. We will continue these dialogues, but remain vigilant. The whispers of the nebula are both a warning and a promise. Every shadow we uncover brings us closer to understanding the forces that threaten our future." With those words, the room fell into a pensive silence, each crew member acutely aware of the perilous balance between trust and treachery. In the interstitial space between light and darkness, amid the silent echoes of ancient celestial secrets, Captain Nova felt the weight of destiny pressing upon her. The nebulous whispers had set in motion a chain of events that would challenge every fiber of her being, a test of resolve, morality, and the unyielding spirit required to navigate a universe rife with hidden dangers. In the endless void where darkness met dazzling light, the cosmos erupted in a storm of fire and fury. A deafening chorus of laser fire, whirring engines, and explosive reverberations shattered the silence of space. The burning skies above the Twilight Nebula became a canvas of incandescent chaos, fiery trails etched across a starlit battlefield, as if the heavens themselves were ablaze. Captain Aurelia Nova sat at the helm of her starfighter, her senses heightened by adrenaline and the electric pulse of imminent danger. The control panels flickered under the barrage of incoming data, their holographic displays illuminating her determined gaze. "All wings Titan formation, engage at my mark," she commanded, her voice resolute and steady against the roaring tumult of conflict. Every syllable carried the weight of responsibility, echoing her commitment to protect her crew and uphold humanity's fragile hope. As Nova maneuvered her sleek vessel through a maelstrom of shimmering debris and erratic energy discharges, her squadron emerged like a silver fleet slicing through the inferno. They danced a deadly ballet amid the blazing expanse, dodging streams of plasma and weaving between bursts of searing light. The starfighter's engines screamed in protest as they pushed past physical limits, while the cold vacuum of space was punctured by the brilliant explosions of enemy craft disintegrating into sparks of cosmic dust. Below the chaotic symphony, the battleship loomed large, a titanic sentinel bristling with defensive arrays and energy shields that pulsed with ominous intensity. It was both sanctuary and spearhead, a monument to Earth's might amidst the relentless onslaught. Within its reinforced corridors, crews clung to hope as they monitored the unfolding battle, their anxious whispers and rapid keystrokes composing a secondary score to the cosmic clash. On the front lines of this pyrotechnic tempest, Nova's heart pounded in rhythm with the staccato bursts of laser fire. Each maneuver was a blend of instinct and practiced precision, honed by years of facing the abyss. Through the comms, the voices of her wingmen crackled with urgency and determination. "Captain, enemy fighters approaching from the port side," an officer shouted, his tone equal parts panic and resolve. Without hesitation, Nova's voice cut through the comm channel, clear and commanding. "Split formation, engage the flank and neutralize the threat. Protect the battleship at all costs." The air, or rather the void, vibrated with the clash of opposing forces. Starfighters darted and spun in a relentless spiral of combat, their silhouettes outlined against bursts of incandescent energy. As Nova executed a daring barrel roll, she could almost feel the heat of enemy plasma grazes against her armor, the searing rush of energy leaving a trail of adrenaline in its wake. The sensory overload was palpable, the taste of ionized air, the subtle vibration of her ship's hull, and the visual spectacle of starlight intertwined with the fiery arcs of destruction. Above the chaos, a distant holographic screen flickered with images of Admiral Zarek Thorne's flagship, a dark monolith against the brilliant cosmic backdrop. His calculated presence was a constant oppressive reminder of the ideological chasm that had led to this war. Although Nova could not hear his voice amid the cacophony of battle, the silent threat of his strategy loomed over every maneuver, every desperate decision. In a particularly intense skirmish near a swirling cluster of nebular gas, Nova found herself in a perilous duel with an enemy ace, whose starfighter glowed with a sinister red light. Their ships twirled in a deadly dance, exchanging rapid-fire salvos that lit up the surrounding darkness in stuttering, unpredictable bursts. The tension was almost tangible, a charged moment where time seemed to slow as each pilot sought to outmaneuver the other. Nova's thoughts raced as she drew upon every ounce of her training, every memory of past losses to find a sliver of advantage amid the chaos. "Focus, read his patterns," she whispered to herself, her eyes narrowing as she anticipated his next move. As the battle raged on, the burning skies became a living testament to the stakes at hand. Every flash of light, every trail of smoke bore witness to the price of ambition and the cost of survival. In the midst of this celestial inferno, Nova's inner resolve shone as brightly as the explosions around her. She was not merely a commander, she was the embodiment of hope and determination, a beacon against the encroaching darkness of despair. The relentless barrage slowly began to tell a story of resilience, sacrifice, and the indomitable spirit of those who dared to fight for a future beyond the ravages of war. As Nova signaled another evasive maneuver, her voice echoed with unwavering conviction. "This is our stand. For every spark we ignite, for every life we save, we carve out the promise of a tomorrow free from tyranny." Her words, delivered in the heat of battle, carried the weight of countless lives and the silent prayers of a civilization clinging to the edge of chaos. In that fleeting moment of defiant courage, amidst the burning skies and the clash of cosmic titans, the battlefield transformed from a mere arena of destruction into a crucible where destinies were forged in fire. Every maneuver, every heartbeat, was a testament to the enduring power of hope, a spark of light in the sprawling darkness of space. The void trembled as Earth's battleship and its adversaries converged into a singular volatile nexus. In the heart of this maelstrom, Captain Aurelia Nova stood before the panoramic viewport of the command bridge, watching as enemy fleets and allied vessels swirled in a deadly ballet of light and shadow. The cosmic battlefield was alive with the clangor of energy discharges, the hiss of ionized plasma, and the rhythmic pulse of distant explosions, each burst a stark reminder that every tactical decision now carried the weight of countless lives. Within the battleship's nerve center, holographic star maps shifted and realigned, displaying intersecting trajectories and potential points of impact. Nova's eyes, resolute yet haunted, darted across these projections, each flicker of red and blue a silent oracle of fate. "This is the fulcrum, the crossroads of our destiny," she murmured, her voice heavy with both determination and a trace of melancholy. Every command now was a gamble, every maneuver a test of moral courage. An urgent chime signaled an incoming secure channel, and on the main holo display Admiral Zarek Thorne's face materialized, etched with the scars of past battles and burning with ideological fervor. "Captain Nova," Thorne's voice resonated coldly across the chasm of space, "you stand at the precipice of an era defined by brute power. You cling to outdated notions of honor while the universe demands decisive action. Will you continue to hide behind your fragile ethics, or will you embrace the inevitability of order through strength?" Nova's gaze hardened as she absorbed his challenge. "Admiral Thorne," she replied steadily, her tone both respectful and unyielding, "our choices today will determine whether we inherit a legacy of tyranny or kindle the flame of hope. Absolute power may impose order, but it will never nurture the integrity of a free people. I choose to believe that there is another way, a way where sacrifice paves the path to lasting peace." Her words, resonant and impassioned, reverberated through the bridge, like the strike of a fateful bell. The exchange crackled with tension, the ideological duel echoing amidst the cacophony of the impending battle. In the background, the crew's focused determination formed an unspoken chorus, each soldier, technician, and strategist aware that this confrontation was not merely about territory, but the very soul of interstellar civilization. Commander Elias Varick's voice broke through the charged silence. "Captain, our sensors confirm an imminent collision course between our forces and Thorne's fleet near the Trion cluster. This is our moment, the point at which destiny will be carved by our choices." Nova's mind raced, balancing the tangible threat of enemy fire against the intangible burden of her past decisions. Memories of fallen comrades and hard-won victories intertwined with the present chaos, creating a tapestry of hope and despair. In the midst of tactical calculations, she found herself grappling with the deeper question: can true integrity persist in a war where power is the ultimate currency? As Nova's fingers danced over the controls, issuing commands with precision born of countless battles, the holographic display transformed into a dynamic battlefield simulation. The paths of incoming enemy missiles and starfighter sorties converged into a complex grid of risk and opportunity. "Adjust shield vectors and prepare countermeasures," she ordered, her voice slicing through the tension. "Our next move must not only deflect their assault but also send a message that our commitment to justice will not be overridden by force." In the midst of strategic deliberations, a young ensign's voice quavered over the comm system. "Captain, sensors are picking up an anomaly, a surge of energy from the nebula. It's like a cosmic beacon, right at the crossroads." The observation sent a ripple of anticipation through the crew. Nova paused, considering the possibility that this anomaly might be a long-forgotten relic or a hidden advantage in the chaos of war. "Maintain position and monitor the readings. It could be our key to turning the tide," she instructed, her tone resolute even as uncertainty danced at the edges of her mind. Outside, the stars seemed to hold their breath as the two opposing fleets edged ever closer. Each maneuver, each ripple of energy was a prelude to the inevitable clash, a collision not only of ships but of ideologies, wills, and the dreams of entire civilizations. In that charged moment, as the forces of order and rebellion hurtled toward destiny, Captain Nova felt the weight of history upon her shoulders. The crossroads before her was not simply a juncture in space, but the fulcrum upon which the future of the galaxy would pivot. Nova's voice, both a command and a promise, filled the command bridge. "Today we fight not just for survival, but for a future where power is tempered by honor, where every sacrifice is a stepping stone to peace. Let this be the moment when we redefine destiny." Her words carried across the void, resonating with every soul on board, a rallying cry that transcended the clamor of war and ignited a spark of hope amid the darkness. In that final, suspended heartbeat before the collision of fate, the battle lines blurred, the personal and the cosmic converged. And Captain Nova stood at the very edge of a new era, a moment where the path of destiny was carved by both courage and conviction, setting the stage for the final reckoning that lay ahead. In the quiet aftermath of a cosmic tempest, the universe seemed to exhale, as if releasing the pent-up agony of battle. The vast expanse of space, once ablaze with conflict, now bore the soft, melancholy glow of distant stars. Amidst the scattered debris of shattered vessels and the echo of spent energy pulses, Captain Aurelia Nova stood on the scarred deck of the battleship. Her eyes, tired yet resolute, scanned the horizon where the nebula's vibrant hues had dulled into a tapestry of quiet sorrow and tentative hope. The bridge was transformed into a solemn sanctuary. Crew members moved with measured steps, tending to wounded allies and methodically salvaging the remnants of technology that had once roared with life. The soft hum of repair drones and the gentle murmur of hushed voices mingled with the distant beeping of sensors, each sound a testament to resilience in the face of devastation. Nova's heart bore the weight of every fallen comrade, every sacrifice that had punctuated the fierce confrontation at the crossroads of destiny. In a private moment away from the main concourse, Nova found herself drawn to the viewport. The endless stretch of space, now a canvas of muted starlight and drifting embers of battle, stirred memories of both glory and loss. She recalled the fervent exchanges with Admiral Thorne, the ideological duel that had defined the day, and the unwavering courage of her crew, who had fought not only with weapons, but with the unyielding spirit of hope. As she watched fragments of ancient star clusters slowly realign in the calm, the scars of war became symbols of transformation, each mark a silent promise of renewal. Lieutenant Mara Solis approached quietly, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fatigue and determination. "Captain," Mara said softly, "the immediate threat has passed, but we know this is just the beginning of a longer journey toward rebuilding." Nova nodded, her gaze steady on the shifting cosmic tableau. "Every ending births a new beginning," she murmured, her voice tinged with both sorrow and resolve. "We have witnessed the price of ambition, and now we must forge a future that honors our sacrifices." In the distance, the battered silhouette of the battleship stood as a monument to Earth's ambition, a reminder that power, when tempered by wisdom, could rise anew from the ashes. The ship's energy shields, once a blinding luminescence in the fury of battle, now pulsed with a gentler rhythmic beat, a heartbeat in the silence of space. Within the corridors, crew members exchanged quiet conversations about loss, hope, and the fragile promise of peace. Every whispered word carried the weight of lessons learned on the edge of oblivion. Across the battlefield, remnants of enemy fleets drifted in the cosmic sea, their once volatile energies dissipating into the ether. For many, the conflict had ended without a clear victor. For others, it was a poignant reminder that victory was measured not in destruction but in the courage to rebuild. Captain Nova's thoughts turned inward as she reflected on the journey that had led her to this solemn juncture. The crossroads of destiny had indeed been traversed, a path marked by hardship, defiance, and the relentless pursuit of integrity amidst chaos. In the final hours of this day, as the nebula's last embers whispered secrets of the past, Nova gathered her closest officers in a quiet assembly on the observation deck. "Today," she said, her voice resonating with a mixture of determination and humility, "we honor those who sacrificed everything so that tomorrow may be different. Let the stars bear witness to our vow that from this storm we shall rise united, our resolve a beacon in the darkness." Her words, imbued with the wisdom of loss and the promise of renewal, reverberated through the silent expanse, uniting every soul present in a shared commitment to a better future. As the first light of a new dawn crept across the void, the battleship sailed onward, a symbol of survival, hope, and the enduring spirit of those who dared to dream beyond the horrors of war. In that quiet, poignant moment, as the scars of the past began to heal, and the promise of peace shimmered on the horizon, the journey of countless worlds found a tentative, yet resolute, pause.